All right, we're live. Gad, you had me worried for a second. I thought you fell asleep watching this week's episode.
Well, it'd be impossible to fall asleep watching this week's episode because it was awesome. No, I'm just a shitty friend with a terrible short-term memory. And we do this every week. There's no reason why a human being in the right mind would ever not remember, because we do this every week.
But it's, I don't know, it's you though.
Yeah, that doesn't make it okay.
Part of me is like, you know what? I don't have to text him today. I don't have to say you good for 9 because you know what? He knows it's 9, and if he can't make it, he'll text me. But I was like, there's something in the back of my head. It's like, no, I gotta text him.
Yeah.
Because he's probably dinking off. He hasn't watched the episode yet. It's gonna be 20 minutes to go time, and he's gonna be out.
No, I watched it over lunch.
Nice. Yeah. I think we're gonna have an interesting debate on this one.
Okay.
I've seen through Twitter and even my own Discord channel some pretty divisive opinions.
Interesting.
And judging by how you worded your intro, I'm assuming we are on opposite ends as well.
Okay.
So let's break this down. So
okay.
last week we end on a cliffhanger of Moff Gideon, right? Last week?
Yep.
This week does not pick up that storyline.
No, it does not.
We get Mando and Bo are looking for the rest of her Mandos, who are the Mercs, which we talked about last week. We thought they might have been the ones hired by Thrawn to kind of get Gideon, but I think after we see what their position was, it likely was not them because they're basically, glorified security cops, protectors for this planet.
Yep.
What do they call themselves? What's that? Is it a P word? What is it when you don't do anything? You just I can't remember what they called it. Anyways, we got an interesting place here in the Outer Rim, a place with a lot of money, and because of rules and regulations and with them being in the Republic, they can't hire, or with the leader being an former Imperial officer, who we'll get into in a minute here.
Yeah.
They can't have their own military force, so they have to outsource. So they've outsourced the Mandos, and Bo has quite the fleet. They got Gideon's Arc-10's light cruiser. They got it looked like 2 Garzanti freighters, cruisers, whatever those things are called, and probably like 8 Gauntlet starfighters. Like, it's a pretty formidable little group there.
Yeah, and even seeing it in the opening scene, like when they were hunting that one person down, I was like, oh, it's Imperial. Like, nope. Sure isn't. I knew that's going. Part of me half forgot they stole that thing.
Yeah, well, they had that line in the very first episode. Bo's like, oh, they took the fleet and they went off being mercenaries. And we we talked about it then. We're like, when they say took the fleet, does that mean the Mandos ended up with Moff Gideon's cruiser? And I think that's where most people thought, and that's what we see. Interesting. So I know I was talking about where they went, but let's just touch that opening scene for a second. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of Clone Wars with like the whole Prince Akbar thing and how the way he got treated. And for some reason, it kind of reminded me of Star Trek a little bit, the way they did their bridge scene.
It looked very Star Trek Discovery. The new series. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I was getting much different other than Star Wars vibes.
Yeah, it was very, very Discovery.
It was interesting that the captain was in basically a water or saline tube. Like I know Quarren are water species, and they throw it in a little fish that she snatches up. My only question is, we've seen them out of water all the time. Yeah. And the other crew members weren't in water, so it's weird that the captain was in like a water bath the whole time. Yeah. Like visually
he's recovering from all that loving.
Yeah, but like it wasn't a back to tank, but yeah. And then we get, our little Mon Calamari who's smitten in love, and he's the prince of Mon Cal. And they're paid to get him back. What did you think? It looked, I don't know, like it's cute. Like I appreciate some of the. It was kind of goofy, I guess is the way I would say. It was. It was just goofy looking.
Yeah, it looked like I enjoy Discovery, so it did give me absolute Star Trek Discovery vibes. I like that they made it lighthearted. like
Yeah.
showing what these mercenaries are doing without making it too intense. Because if you go any deeper, you got to tell more of the story.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that they glazed over it.
Yeah, and like these are like Quarren and calamari are well-known alien species in the Star Wars universe, but I don't know, it's just kind of weird seeing them like holding hands and or like rubbing her tentacles all over his face and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, it was different to say the least. But yeah, so they that's just basically gave us a little intro of what what Bo's former mercs were up to. And then we get them traveling to, again, the name of the planet's escaping me, but all the things I said earlier.
It's like Firaz 15 or Fiaz 15 or something like that. Yeah.
So they hop on the old Hyperloop and they are requested to go speak to the Lord of the planet and what they call it, the Lord and the Lady.
Yeah.
And we get this, big room. It's very colorful. Everyone's having fun, having dinner, and then we see Jack Black.
And his lovely wife, Lizzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rapper.
First off, what'd you think about Jack Black's character?
I love any actor who wants to be a part of the Star Wars universe. I will never chirp them. I'll never look down on them. Last week we had the guy from The Ladies' Man who was also in Hubie Halloween, or a couple ones ago. Obviously, the Kim's Convenience guys become more of a staple. Here we've got Jack Black, we've got Lizzo, we have someone else who I assume we're going to get to pretty soon. I mean, this to me is amazing because it shows that everybody loves Star Wars. Everybody loves a good Star Wars property. Was he the best cast for it? No, but it doesn't matter because Jack Black is playing a lord on a planet no one's heard of. That's not a suburb of Tatooine. He's playing a role in Star Wars.
Now,
so I'm in.
So let me flip it the other way around. Is it distracting having such a high-profile cameo to the story?
Maybe, but who cares?
I don't know. Immediately, it's like, it's Jack Black, and then it's like, is he going to be you see the way he's dressed, this is going to be a goofy role for him. It's not going to be a serious role.
It is a distraction, but again, like the message is everyone loves good Star Wars. And there's no better way to show that than Jack Black being married to Lizzo, the rapper. Like, that's amazing. Now, the fact that they're not key characters makes it okay. So let me paraphrase that. Sorry, let me switch that up a little bit. I wouldn't like it if Jack Black was in the entire series or if he was in 6 different episodes. But the fact that he's a one-off, I think it's fantastic.
And he wasn't even probably the main guest appearance in this episode to begin with.
Clearly not.
So kind of an odd choice of a story. We want to go talk to our Mando friends, but to talk to them, we have to do this favor for this planet. And their droids are malfunctioning. So they have to do some investigation, track down the droids, which I guess, okay, cool. It's an excuse to give us battle droids, right?
Yeah.
Which are I'm always happy to see battle droids, and I'm always happy to see them. For one, they looked good in this episode, especially the B2 super battle droids. They moved a lot differently than I thought they moved.
So good. But I know exactly what you're gonna say. It's a shit story. And you're right. It is a pretty shit story. The plot
was pretty weak.
It was shit. It was a shit plot.
I know. And they're like the Ugnaughts. I appreciated the I'm friends of Queel, I've spoken. I appreciated that part. They get their tip and they're down at the docks and literally Din just starts kicking battle droids over.
So funny. Because he hates droids.
I know. I get it all, but it's this is the third last episode, and we got Din just kicking battle droids over. That's what we're at right now.
So funny.
Results in a pretty cool chase, and then I did like the droid bar.
Yes.
Resistor, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the resistor.
And when they walked in, I was obviously they were going for a New Hope vibes when C-3PO and R2 walk into the bar. They said, "We don't serve your kind here." I was waiting for them to go full copycat mode and say, "Hey, we don't serve you. Get out of here." But it's interesting. You kind of get a sympathetic thing. The droids want to keep alive, and the humans keep betting their service time. So I appreciated that. I thought the whole bar setup was cool. They're all like
I
charging,
loved
like,
it.
getting their
Loved
game
it.
on, right?
Yep.
And then we come to the other big cameo, Mr. Back to the Future himself, Christopher Lloyd. He plays the head of security, director of security, and he's the one behind the malfunctions using, I guess, nanites and the oil or whatever it was.
Yeah, nanobots.
Like basically reprogram them, and he has, again, like at first I was like, like Bo and Mando are gonna tear through some battle droids this episode. Okay, that would be sweet.
Yeah,
they don't really at all.
No.
And then when they confront him, he's like, if I hit this red button, they'll all turn on everyone. I was like, okay, here it comes. And then he just goes out with a whimper. I was like, really? I'm like, that was it? That was it? You did all that work to bring back all those battle droids. You could have this huge droid uprising, kind of like Solo, right? And like nothing happened. What did you think of Christopher Lloyd? Was he distracting, or did you like
very obscenely distracting? But the plot for the episode was shit anyway. I loved all the cameos.
Yeah.
But he didn't even suit the role. Like his lines of like Imperial and Separatist, I'm like, man, you are struggling, and I don't care.
It's like, okay, I'm just gonna name drop Techno Union and Count Dooku, and I'll be good with it.
He was a visionary. And he struggled through every one of those lines. But it doesn't matter because it was Christopher Lloyd in Star Wars.
I know, I hear you on that. So that really sums up the stuff on the planet. And let me just say this before I just want to kind of get this out of the way. Had this been a 12 episode season, something like that, I would have been completely fine with this episode. Yeah. Again, I'm always asking for new worlds. We got a crazy new world, like,
very
with
cool,
different rules. They kind of really fleshed out how it works there. They literally need droids to sustain their life because no one will know how to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Like it's a very, it's an interesting concept, and I'm normally down for that. But like when we've kind of already had episodes like that, and the stakes have been building.
Yeah.
And to get this, now there's only 2 episodes left. It seems like an odd choice.
Here's my big gripe with this episode.
Yeah.
What we're about to talk about,
it's my biggest gripe too.
Is a potential huge moment. Like, I mean, a massive moment.
Yeah.
And it was already 4 steps behind before it started.
Yeah.
Because of it. Yeah.
And so the whole Bo-Katan Darksaber part, that should have been an epic, tense, cinematic, like, awesome moment, and I felt it was so underwhelming.
Yep.
So underwhelming.
Yep.
The fight between them was cool. Like, I knew you kind of figured that that's what they were gonna do. She was gonna call him out. But like, again, I'm not the one who makes shows or stuff like that, but like, when they give you the tease before the episode of Bo using the Darksaber, right? They do the little flashback previously. I thought for sure, like, Axe Walls was going to get the upper hand on her, and Mando was going to toss her the Darksaber, and she was just going to, not kill him, but like win the battle or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then to just get like the simple handoff between the two. So let me just say, the precedent out there for it was there. Like, my brother-in-law, he told me back when that episode happened, he's like, that's Bo-Katan's Darksaber now. Mando was defeated, and she defeated it.
I was just going to say, did you actually catch on to that? I did not.
Me and Corbin argued about it for like an hour, and I was like, there's no chance. I'm like, for one, the person who defeated Mando never ever claimed the Darksaber.
Doesn't matter.
And then I'm like, and near the end of that episode, when Mando's picking it up, they show him pick it up and put it on his belt, and there's no words said between the two of them. So I was like, did they just kind of ignore it? So I guess the reason they showed him carefully putting it on, because they were going to come back to this moment.
Yeah.
So
I missed
plot
it,
line,
but that is correct.
Yeah. So plot line, I get it. It makes sense. They set it up from the get-go. It was still just underwhelming for the type of moment I felt like it should have been.
But what do you do? She had to get the Darksaber.
She wasn't
going to battle him. He wasn't going to let her win. So that exchange works.
they could have, she could have won it on that planet when she first rescued him, right? And then when they go to that scene, she said, "Look at me, I got the dark saber," and then Axe Wolves could have been like, "Yeah, well, you still got to challenge me," and then tried to defeat her with it. You know what I mean? They still could have worked it in some way, but it is what it is. Like, again, it's been a storyline I've been looking forward to, and I thought it was just underwhelmed. Maybe I built my expectations up too high.
No, you're not wrong. It was it was underwhelming.
So either way, it's a tiny piece of business because now, if we recap where the Mandalorians stand, right? They got a new home. Bo just got her people. She's united them. I'm assuming she's taken them all back to Navarro. And now you're going to have a full combined Mandalorian society. So that person's set up. The Lord Jack Black spoke to, if you do this, I will petition the New Republic or whatever to let you be the ruler of Mandalore or whatever. And they still talk about how she wants to liberate Mandalore, blah, blah. But like, I just don't get that storyline anymore because there's nothing to liberate. Nobody's there. It's white. It's radiant. Like
dead.
Exactly. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. But as far as, we got 2 episodes left. We still got what's going on in Coruscant, right? With the Gideon sympathizer, Dr. Pershing. Like, there's unanswered stuff there they've teased. What's going on with Gideon? And, like, Giancarlo Esposito is a pretty big character. We haven't even seen him on camera yet. He was at all the press that goes around and everything for the season. He's getting, like, the Luke Skywalker Force Awakens treatment. Like, we got, there's got to be some sort of more concrete Thrawn piece to this other than those little clues. Maybe not. Maybe that's safe for Ahsoka and they just tease it here. But I also feel like not Thrawn, but are they going to try to loop in Boba Fett at some point down the road as well? Like, he has a new season is coming up. So
does he? That got greenlit?
I think there's going to be a season 2, yeah. But anyways, lots of stuff going on in this season. Only 2 episodes left to cover it. I feel like with how fast-paced the first 2 seasons have been, this season's kind of been really meandering. Like, I feel like we haven't really accomplished a lot.
I disagree. I just think you're jaded from this episode.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing too is the Mythosaur. They have the whole Mythosaur storyline that has to get potentially resolved, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think you actually mean it's been underwhelming. I just think this episode is just jaded a little bit.
Yeah, sorry. There has been episodes I think
this season has been really good. It's been really strong. It's been jam packed. I love that it's involved the greater Mandalorian.
Yeah.
This was too much cameo, not enough towards the end. The issue with an episode like this is, where the hell do you go from here? Like, you just said it, right? You got 2 left. Like, what do you tackle?
It's going to be Empire, and it can't just be Gideon, just Gideon again. He's been the villain the last 2 seasons. In the last episodes of those last 2 seasons, it just can't be Gideon 2 more episodes. It's got to be the stakes have to get up. I hope it's the spy. We got to see Mr. Blueface with the red eyes come into the picture. Like, it's got to be it. It has to be. To do Gideon 3 seasons in a row for the finale is, again, that'd be underwhelming. It'd probably be cool. I'd probably enjoy it. But I'm just saying, stake-wise, I feel like it still has to get elevated a little bit. One random other little point for you.
Yeah.
Grogu gets knighted. Now, why they chose to knight him, I'll never understand, because she's just like, let me look after that baby, and is just holding it. But I thought it was a funny nod that to like a Jedi knight. Now he's knighted, so you could say he's a knight. I didn't know what they were doing with that, but technically he's a Mandalorian and a knight now. That's all. Oh, and so the one thing
scattered.
The one thing I will say, when the credits came up and they showed the director, I was
Howard.
I was very surprised it was her who directed this episode.
Yeah,
we've talked about before. She's directed some of my favorite episodes, if not the best episodes,
for sure,
of the previous seasons. And whether she just got saddled with a terrible script, I don't know. I just thought this one was a little off.
Yeah.
All right, so let's rate this one. What do you got?
I'm gonna give it 8. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the cameos. And the only reason it's getting 8 because I loved seeing them.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't great. It's hard to give it as high as 8 with how disappointing the Darksaber scene was. But Jack Black, Lizzo, and Christopher Lloyd, I'm gonna give you an 8 just because you got them all in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 7.7.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you're that high.
I don't know, like it was still entertaining, but like I was just expecting so much more.
Yeah.
You know, I'll probably get that in the next 2 episodes, but a little bit of a, like, again, if the season was 12 episodes, I probably think about this episode a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm also battling a very bad cold, and I was all hyped up on medication watching this, so like maybe I'll feel different about it on a second watch through. But my initial reaction, I was just like,
yeah,
this is what
I'm
they're
just
giving
getting
us.
over it. The cold.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Like I was so excited this morning. I was like, I saw it's 46 minutes. I'm like, yes, it's gonna be finally see Gideon. We're gonna see from the Empire point of view what's going on. This is gonna be awesome. None of it.
But remember, we're biased because we've been treated to a season so far that we've pretty much given almost 9s to every single week.
Yeah, I think I've given 3 9s out. So it's been,
yeah.
You know, we look back on it that way. It's been pretty great.
It's been like it's set an unprecedented bar, and you and I have talked about it probably in the last week or two. Like, how do you keep this going? At some point, there had to be one that was
it's going to be a misstep.
Yeah.
Again, just it was shocking. It was this one this late in the season, and the one directed by Bryce.
Yeah,
it's just too bad. All right, well, that will do it for us. We will see everyone next Wednesday, and I hope everyone enjoys their evening. And let us know in the comments. Oh, here we go. Can the Mon Calamari Corbin? It's Star Wars. Of course they can. Probably. They're both fish species, right?
Would you like to know the schematic drawing of how this is going to happen, Corbin?
Well, his wife would like to know the schematic drawing.
I would like to see you do this in interpretive dance.
Yeah. Do they lay eggs? Remember the frog lady had a big tank of eggs?
Oh yeah. Oh, Corbin.
Hey, Corbin, since you're on, I don't know if you saw it earlier, but I called you out. I said you're the one who argued with me about that Bo-Katan was the rightful ruler because she got the Darksaber.
And I missed it.
What happened?
Yeah, I missed it. I agree with you completely. When it happened, I was like, oh shit, that's right, it happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
Corbin,
why they had that. That's why they had that stupid droid thing to feed him, right? To set it up down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are from the same planet. They're both underwater species. I'm sure they can make it happen. But I don't know. Like, is there like, well,
little Marvin Gaye?
Well, put it this way.
Nice bottle of Chardonnay.
Hera and Kanan had a child who looked human but was green, right? Did he have a green face or just green hair? I can't remember.
I forgot they had a child.
Yeah, he's riding shotgun in the Ghost at the end. Now, when you think about that, now actually, I'm surprised you don't see more blended species.
I feel like we're opening up a large can here.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a new thing. They're like when you run out of aliens or just throw in, you just mix them together.
Yeah,
you'll have a Jawa Wookiee coming up. Like, who knows?
A Jawookie.
A Jawookie. Green hair, yeah. Okay.
All right.
That'll do it for us. Let us know in the comments, though. I really want to know if you loved this episode, what you loved about it, because I think I need to pick me up this week. So let me know what I should have been focusing on. And we'll see you all next week in what should be an Empire heavy episode.
So, do you say should be or better be?
It should be. It better be.
Yeah.
It has to be. Because think about it, you're saving it for the finale. But you know what's going to happen? It's going to pick up on the investigation. They're going to blame the Mandalorians for the prison break, and the New Republic's going to show up on Navarro.
Oh yeah.
And then they're gonna dick around the whole episode while not dealing with anything Imperial because they think it's the Mandalorians.
I really hope.
Now I
don't
think
waste
about
time
it,
on that.
that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Maybe.
It's gonna happen. But we've seen in episode 1, they can tie up 5 storylines in a nice tidy 40 minutes.
Yeah, they've had a couple that were busy. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Bye for reals this time. Check y'all up next week.
Yeah.
Peace out.
See you next Wednesday at 9.
9
Sharp.
Sharp.